Hey guys, welcome back to another video over here on the Chinese Zodiac and Horoscopes. Today we're going to be doing a reading for you guys born in the year of the snake. So welcome back, my snake friends. How are we doing this week? Shall we find out? Let's have a little look, shall we? Otherwise there would be no point in the video, would there? Could you imagine if I just came on and said, well, it is what it is. No. Let's try again on that one, shall we? Let's be a bit more informative. We're going to find out this week how you guys have been by pulling out 3 cards. We're going to stop about there. And I'm going to take that one from the bottom. I'm going to take that one from the middle and that one from the top. What have we got? Alright, so we're in a negative place right now, but we are moving into a more positive place. So that's good. That's good. That's a more sort of, let's look forward to something kind of place. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. White isn't always alright. Black isn't always an attack. Let's find out as we flip these cards over. Well, you really are in a bad place. Oh, look at that. That is the worst card you can get as a snake person. The Black Boar. The ominous Black Boar hiding in the shadows, waiting to pounce. And I don't know if boars pounce, but ready to pounce and get you, and it got you. There's a lack of appreciation for you right now, and you can feel it. You can feel this lack of appreciation. You can feel almost like you're being pushed away from places that you once felt secure or once felt safe. Now, not so much. You feel almost like you're on a defensive. But this is a catalyst card. There is a change coming. We are looking at change. There is going to be some sort of shift, some sort of something that is going to bring you into these more positive places. Now, you are a snake person, so you are part of that negative aspect, the negative karmic sign. This means out of all the other signs that are negative, because there are other negative signs, you know, there's, in fact, the pig is, in fact, part of that negative sort of collaboration as well. Positive signs and negative signs. The snake is kind of like the king or queen of the negatives, just like the dragon is, say, the king or queen of the positives. So you're going to have a negative perspective when there is any kind of change or some sort of moment that you don't have control over and puts you into a place of reservation and defense. You're not going to like it. You're going to curl up, you're going to start rattling your tail, and you're going to start to process in that mind of yours. And that's what's happening right now, is you're processing everything. And what I'm getting at is you're going to see everything from a negative perspective. You're going to see everything in the negative. Now, you've got 2 choices here. You can either dwell in that and you can start to focus on all those negatives, or we could be productive with those negatives and we could start to sort of collaborate them together or delegate them into a place. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for right now. There's a word for it. Just pigeonhole them, organize them into manageable bite sizes so that you can then start to make progress from that. This catalytic moment, this change could actually be instigated by you. You could have more control than you think you do. Just change that mindset, change that perspective. See the problem, yes. We're not ignoring the problems. We can't ignore the problems, can we? We're snakes here. At the end of the day, snakes do not ignore those problems. They'll fixate on them. It's almost a matter of their own vanity. It's almost like that problem is a blemish on your own skin. It has to be dealt with. So we're not going to ignore it. You've got a great mind there, a tactical, strategic mind. So use it. Start to organize this mess. It will still be a mess, but at least then you'll be able to sort of get through it and start to figure it out. Things aren't looking up. Or, well, they are, I suppose, monkey in a tree, but things aren't necessarily going to get a lot better because the monkey and the snake don't necessarily get along too great. It's not the most compatible card in the world. However, what we are looking at here is a doer card in a positive aspect. What we're looking at here is you moving from this place because, as I've said, You can start to do stuff to solve these problems. And what's that monkey? It's a problem solver. So we are now looking at solutions. We are now looking at moving forward. We are now looking at ways that we can fix this mess and get back on the right track. The monkey is a self-care card as well. I mean, there's 3 different doers it could have happened and more compatible with you than the monkey. However, what we are looking at here now is that aspect of self-care, looking after you, recovering, healing, coming back. If you have to spit venom, spit venom. If you have to lash out, lash out. You, after all, have that power to... I want to say intimidate. I don't think that's the right word. But you do have this intimidation factor. And this doesn't work just with people. This also works with problems. And if you can't solve that problem, you can't ignore that problem, you can intimidate that problem. As to say, rise above it. As to say, it's not going to defeat you. You are stronger than it. It's just beneath you right now. It's out of your league. That's a featherweight. You're a heavyweight. It's David and Goliath. But just like David and Goliath, if you ignore it, it will come back. And it will come back to haunt you with a vengeance. So we will get back round to that. It's just not the time to deal with unnecessary problems or things that you cannot solve or control. We are looking at things that we can solve, things that are going to get you into a better place. We're then moving through another phase of catalytic power and energy. We've got that change coming back through. We've got the catalyst there from the pig, but its friend coming in over here at the sheep or the goat, if you prefer. And unfortunately, not another great catalyst for the snake. Unfortunately for the snake, change isn't something that you are necessarily fond of unless you yourself have planned for it, have organized for it, have prepared for it, have got countless lists and things in place for it. You've read the books for it, the manuals for it, you've done the information on it, you've done your homework on it and thought about it. So when change happens and you've had no chance to do any of that, well, then it's all based on intuition. And that's okay because you're a very intuitive person. You're a very intuitive sign. But if we're in a bad place, sometimes we don't hear ourselves as well as we think we do, or we tend to interpret it as we want it to be instead of what it actually is. This goat, however, is going to come in and punch you in the face, figuratively speaking, of course, because that goat is a catalyst of dramatic kind of proportion. So something's going to come in, not necessarily bad, but it's definitely going to shake things up a bit. It's going to take your attention. It's going to frustrate you a little bit because you're not going to have a chance to deal with this. As I say, we're going to have to come back to these problems. Otherwise, David's going to come back for Goliath. And as Goliath in this scenario, that's not going to end very well for you. However, that goat there is another catalytic moment. More change that's going to take your focus, which is going to frustrate you a little bit. It is. It's going to be very demanding. I feel it's temporary, though. It's going to come in. It's going to be a bit of an issue with it. Maybe a little bit of a conflict, but there'll be something unreasonable that you can then resolve because you'll be able to call it out. Because why? You've got that intuition on your side right now. So as you're using your intuition more so than anything else right now, feel for those things that don't feel right. Feel for those things that you're going to have to call out and say, no, this is enough, is enough. Because these changes that are happening, don't forget, they are not against you. They're not to punish you. They're not to make you, feel like you've done anything wrong, or to take anything from you. These changes are just things that are going to naturally occur. Change is inevitable. We're never going to escape that. But we can find out how you get on with that next week when we come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the snake. My next video will be for those born in the year of the horse. So if you are interested, I will see you in that video next. If not to worry, I'll just see you in the next video for the snake. If you do want a more in-depth and more intriguing and interesting reading with 9 cards instead of the 3, I am now on a Patreon doing, more card readings and offering all sorts of fun and wonderful things. You can find the link for that in the description if you want to. If not, I will be here next week for you guys doing another snake reading. Until then, love and peace.